What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic. And this video is about parents or would-be parents, actually. It's about parents who just had their newborn baby come to this world and they're enjoying every single second of the life. And it's also, more importantly, for people who are expecting a new baby, maybe for the first time. And it's good to know this fact because it'll save you from a lot of frustration and a lot of headache and all this stuff. So what we're talking about is the initial weight drop in newborn babies. The thing that we are either not aware of if we're the first time parents, or we're not told properly, like any medical institute where you go for a delivery, and right after your baby's delivery, what happens is that you'd see the baby's weight has dropped. Now it happens within 12 hours or 24 hours of time, and that becomes a bit shocking for the parents. There are two reasons for that, why it becomes shocking. So what you're initially going to watch is that they do keep on weighing your baby. If you're staying in the hospital for about 3 days or so, they keep on doing that. And you're going to see the initial weight. Let's say, for example, the initial weight of the baby is 3 kilograms or 2.8 kilograms, right? Let's say 2.8 kilograms. And you'd see that within 24 hours or 12 hours for that matter, the baby's weight has dropped to 2.5 kilograms. So it's about 300-gram drop in weight, sometimes more, sometimes less, but there is a drop. And that thing becomes so frustrating. And so, as parents, as new parents, you become so much worried about your baby and you don't really find what to do. So this video is about that. So hopefully you get some insight from that. So there are primarily two reasons why this happened, and the other important thing to understand is that it happens to almost 100% of babies. Actually, it should happen to 100% baby. I don't know the exact number, but you can check with your pediatrician who's at the hospital, who's looking after your little one. You got to check with them and verify the details, all right? So when it's the first thing you're seeing that your baby's weight has dropped. Why did it happen? So the first thing that happened when your baby has come to this new world from inside the womb of the mother is that the food source changed. Until the baby was inside, she or he was not actually eating something from mouth, and the whole digestive tract that was not functioning as per se. The whole food delivery, nutrient delivery was happening directly to the baby in the blood flow. Now, when the baby is born, they do get born with certain extra storage of things, all right? So they get born with some fat, they get born with some of the iron more, because from outside it's difficult for them to get those things. So some of the things they get born with, so they keep on storing during the last phase of their pregnancy, the last phase of anyone's pregnancy. The baby generally accumulates a lot of nutrients so that it can help the baby go without much of a food outside the womb for a few days, right? 3-4 days, something like that. So that they're intelligent enough to do that, or our body or the baby's body is intelligent enough to do that. But when the food source changes and then the baby comes out and starts having mother's milk, there are a few things that happen. First of all, from the baby's perspective, the baby's stomach at that time after being birthed is just about a peanut. I mean, it is probably the size of this thing, this chalk. So you can understand how many drops of milk the baby can actually take in and digest. And that's why even if the milk production is really good, the baby would probably not take much of that, because the system of the baby has to learn and adapt how to digest things, right? That's the part from baby's perspective. No, the part from the mother's perspective, and that's where it gets a bit frustrating, is that the milk production in the first 2 days, sometimes 3 days, is not that good, and there is a reason for that. See, initially when the baby is born, the hormonal secretion in our body signals the mother, to produce colostrum, not milk. So colostrum is like a whole powerhouse of tiny little drops of milk-like thing. It's not milk at all. That provides the baby with probiotic antibodies and so many other things to fight the outer world, and it's so much more important than the milk itself. So what you would experience in the initial days is that your baby's weight is kind of dropping, and your baby's always hungry because she's not getting much of a food. There are two reasons for that. She's not having a bigger stomach, but she needs food. And the other thing is that the milk production, you being a mother, is not that much in the first 2 to 3 days. It's absolutely normal. Don't worry about that. If you're in a hospital, and a good one, and they're monitoring these details all the time, then they'll understand what happens. So if because of the weight drop and because of the lack of food, if blood sugar level falls, then they will probably give temporarily some formula food to the baby just to get or elevate the blood sugar level and all those things. These are things that are done for 2 to 3 days. Don't worry about that. And within the 2 to 3 initial days, the milk production actually starts, because the initial colostrum flow has to be there. And even if the baby is hungry like pretty much all the time, the baby needs to have the colostrum. So those 2, 3 drops, 5 drops of colostrum each time the baby feeds, that's important for the baby. It's not gonna make your baby satisfied with food, but it's gonna fulfill the baby's requirement for fighting the outside world in the long run. So that's important. So this is the actual crust of the video, that there are 2 parts of how your baby behaves and how the milk production happens, how slow it is, and how it starts. So don't worry about this stage. If you see this or observe this weight drop, which you would probably, do ask your pediatrician that is this a reason, should I worry about it? And your pediatrician is going to suggest you things that should solve the problem. Don't worry about it, everything's going to be fine. Everyone experiences this thing. So I hope this video is helpful, and I thank you a lot for spending your time watching this video. Have an awesome life, folks. Ciao.